You lot think it's cold in here. You're wearing hats, coats, you're all wrapped up in scarves. Go. I'm going to show you cold. Cold, one or two of you have seen. That's how I pick my nose now. This is what I call cold mountains. That's Mount McKinley. It gets to minus 60 centigrade. It's about 2 degrees in here. How can this be cold? We have big gaping holes in the floors that swallow people up and kill them. It's lovely. It's the place to go. We want to have hands like that. They don't move quick. These are crevasses. Anybody who's watched Touching the Void will know about crevasses. Anybody who's been out with a rucksack, who's got a rucksack, hands up. Yeah, well, this weighs about the same as a 9-year-old on your back while you're climbing the stairs, breathing through a hose pipe for 12 hours. Try it with a 9-year-old, they'll shut up eventually. But what I want to tell you about is actually how I got this. And what I'm going to give you in about 4 minutes is what happens when you are exposed to minus 60 for 24 hours in only the clothes you are standing, because that's the last picture of me with all my bits attached. 3 of us, and that is 3, got stuck in some nasty weather, and we had to dig ourselves into the ice and snow to survive the night, otherwise we were going to die. You have to take some pretty strict choices, and you have to take them pretty quick. We dived into a crevasse because one of my mates was suffering hypothermia. He was going cold. How did I know he was going cold? Because he was shivering in the corner going, I love you. You've got real problems when your mates start telling you that, I tell you. We had to try and keep ourselves warm. We had to try and keep ourselves alive. We had to talk. We had to tell silly jokes. We had to look at each other in the eye. We had to stay awake to get through the morning. We had a radio. I managed to get a radio call out. I had no idea if the message ever got there. But to do that radio call, I had to warm 8 batteries and get my hands out into that cold, which is why they are as they are now. The next morning the weather cleared. We tried to take a walk back to our camp, because I was brought up in that you get yourself in the mire, you get yourself out of it attitude. But I was going hypothermic. I couldn't see properly. I couldn't communicate or move properly, and we ended up getting pulled off by helicopter. This guy's lucky, he's got a basket. I was hung on the rope, going around like this, because that's what tends to happen when you're on a rope. And people say to me, Nigel, what was going through your mind? What do you think about? Is it worry? Is it what you're going to tell your mum? And all I could think about was, look at that sunset. It's a nice view. Seriously, that's all I could think about. 7 minutes later, I was on the deck and going to hospital with my 2 other mates. Very briefly, the guy on the left, Steve, has lost his left leg, the front of his right foot, every finger, and both thumbs, and teacher's woodwork. The guy on the right, Anthony, lost 3 fingertips and nothing more. He's just a bit fat. That's what happened to me. That's 1 day in, and I look sexy. And everything's going black and necrotic. It's dying. Get used to it. This is reality. You cannot hide from it. People say to me, you know, it must be horrible to look at. Yeah, it's not pleasant. Somebody in the audience tonight said, you really haven't got any toes, have you? You've got to be joking. No, I bloody haven't. There you go. And there's that one. My God, this floor is cold. That's what happens. That's what happens to you when TV crews appear and say, can we have a look at your face? Because that's all they're interested in. They want to see the damage. They want to understand how it works. But they've got to understand how we fight. Because there was no way I was going to sit on my backside and do nothing for the rest of my life. I was running an office, as you can see. I was making and receiving phone calls, writing a book, answering emails, and I was doing that with frostbitten hands and frostbitten feet in a hospital bed. Because I refused to sit. And I chose to climb. And that's what I still do now. I decided to take a chance and take a stance and climb. With hands like this, it's not easy. But then again, the best things in life never are. People ask me what inspires me. People ask me what drives me. These guys. Shackleton, the guy who took a boat into Antarctica that got crushed and got his guys home. Tenzing Norgay, Sherpa Tenzing, who went up Everest as a goat herder and came down a god. Ronnie Barker. If you want to learn about delivery, exercise, comedy and keeping a straight face at the same time, just watch that man. And those 2 people on the end are very special. Because that's my mum and dad. The 2 people who have stood by me through everything I have ever done. But regardless of what you climb, regardless of where you go, regardless of what you do, people, trust me on this, and Hilary was right. It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves.
Oh.